I long to have the capacity to decide what I want to do in every given moment. Like, I'm the eternal non-planner.
Tell us, Colby, why'd you dye your hair?
Because it could.
No, he did it just because we did it.
No,
Was that not right?
It came up.
So you walked in the shop, you saw me and Ayrton doing our hair. You caved to just like coming to Sydney.
I didn't cave to peer pressure.
Just like coming to Sydney, you caved to peer pressure.
Peer pressure implies pressure. If he just looks at me,
I implied pressure.
He looks at me and goes, "You should go," and I say, "Yes." That's not peer pressure. By definition, that is not peer pressure. Peer pressure requires pressure. Ayrton never pressured me. He's like, "You should go," and I was like,
No.
And then I just...
Well, hold on. All right, let me rephrase it.
No, I did not pressure
It was
at all.
FOMO.
It was FOMO. It was like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, I'm going on a plane at 6 a.m. And he's like, oh,
He's ticking off his bucket list with us because he's FOMO of...
You're ticking off your bucket list
Sydney.
that doesn't exist yet, that you're creating after this episode.
So a bit of... Yeah. So a bit of context. I planned to go to Sydney for like a couple months. Ayrton was planning to go about a month before. And then Colby bought a ticket 8 hours before his flight.
Yeah.
When he was with Ayrton the night before.
And as I just ticked off something off my bucket list, which was getting a Jeep.
Yeah.
We're
It is a
celebrating
nice
that.
car.
And Colby was just like, I want to go to Sydney.
So he came to Sydney with us. And then Ayrton and I got our hair done. And you walked in. FOMO because you weren't getting your hair done. You got pink hair.
I don't know if it's...
And the video of your face.
If you look at it and you go, "Oh, this idea sounds cool, I think I'll do it." Is that really FOMO, or isn't FOMO more like,
But we got our hair done. If we didn't get our hair done, you weren't just like, oh, that's a really cool idea.
It's because I wouldn't have thought of it.
But
if we had just told you to do something, would you have done your hair just by yourself? Like, hey, Colby, you know what? You should go dye your hair.
I might have. In Sydney.
But why did you do it then?
I can only say might have because it never happened, so I can't say.
All right, well, let's think of another
But there's a difference. There's a difference between FOMO. Like, do you know when like, my friends are drinking, I have to go drink. That's like bad FOMO.
FOMO's
this
fear.
is like, oh, you guys going skydiving? Are you guys doing something crazy and fun? Yeah, I want to do that too, which is really cool. You did it pink, which we recommended as well. I voted to go pink, which is great. It's a faded pink now. It fades. They said after a month it fades really quick, and it has faded.
It has faded quickly.
I feel like it should be called DTP.
What's that?
Desire to take part.
Oh, okay. This is a new thing.
I actually don't mind that.
Well,
DTP.
I don't know. FOMO implies fear, so like anxiety.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah, like when it's fear of missing out. It's like I wasn't afraid of missing out. It just sounded cool. I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, I'd like to do that too. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
DTP. Oh man, down to take part.
Yeah, because
What else have you caved to DTP in?
I don't know, not much, because most of my old friends were pretty boring, so I was always the one kind of.
We're the
doing
fun
stuff.
friends.
Yeah, they were always like not boring, but like they had a box they kind of wanted to stay inside, and I didn't really want to.
Yeah,
and so now I know like other people who do cool stuff, or I see more people who do cool stuff.
That's one of Ayrton's.
So it gives me more ideas.
That's one of your favorite quotes. The little square of like comfort zone and outside.
Mate, I literally did a video on today talking about it. It's like,
what is it?
I love sharing because like what changed for me 5 years ago was I came across this quote and I was literally watching content like this and listening to this type of content online. I just started and saw this quote and it came up and I was like at the time like really scared of putting myself out there on camera, putting myself out there in business. I wanted to start a business but I didn't know what to do. And this quote came up. It's like this circle which the word comfort zone is in. And then outside the comfort zone is where all the magical things happen in life. That makes sense. And like that literally just seeing it, I was like, fuck, I've got so much more things I can do if I just get outside my comfort zone. Like things will just fall into place. My biggest fear at the time was speaking on camera. So I started to do video.
You vlogged for 130 days, didn't you?
That was like 2 years later.
Oh,
But that was part of the process of overcoming that fear.
What I find funny about it is that's how I met you guys.
Yeah.
Literally. And even Mackenzie and like those new people, like we had him on the show last week, wearing a shirt, represent M. Burgoyne. Get your merch there. I'm just putting a little plug in.
Sell out.
What was I saying? That's how I met you guys. Like I met Ayrton from, have I told you this? I met him because I was doing like these weekly entrepreneurial meetups and I ran an ad. He saw it, came, actually got him to speak at one of the events and then we just stayed in touch because he was a bit of a loner. He had no friends. He worked from home, had nowhere to go and we became friends.
It can... and
then you were from we did a pub golf video,
Yeah.
which I thought was really fun. But I met you just through work and
Yeah.
just now similar interests.
It can be like that when you work at home sometimes. Like unless you actively make sure that you engage in new open spaces with new people, you don't actually meet people because a lot of people develop their social circles through work. If you work from home, you don't because all the people I work with, I can't just. Well, I mean, I can as of July. I can just go see them if I really want to. But for most people, you can't just go see them because they're half a world away. And so you'll never really engage with these people because you'll never really see them. So like it can definitely be like that. Because I noticed that when I changed to at home from working in hospitality in a place like 120 people, you get all these different people you hang out with and you just never see them again.
Yeah.
And
it works a bit different. Like they're just people you like. I remember seeing this video. There's different types of friendships. There's like one where it's like, hey, we work together. We may as well be friends. And then there's people that you see outside here and now. And there's people that like that your best friend, like parents used to me, like that you can talk to anytime.
Yeah, like
there's like three different stages. There's ones that like it's forced a little bit, and you're like, oh, we're sharing the situation, may as well be friends.
It's because there's like I get what you mean. Because with work, what brings people together is that they work together. For us, I mean, obviously you two do a bit of work together, but generally speaking, there's nothing that holds us together other than the desire to actually engage with each other. Like. We don't have to come into work and see each other every day, and so we just develop something we choose to actually see each other. And that's what a proper friendship is you actively choose to engage with each other.
Actually, I want to drop a little bombshell on you. We haven't told you yet.
I know.
I love this.
What are we telling you?
This is part of the bucket list. We were talking about our goals the other day because obviously we have a business together. So we're talking about we might get a house and live together.
Oh yeah, we haven't told him that.
We haven't told you yet.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think we already mentioned this about Sydney.
Have we?
Yeah, we already talked about
Yeah, but it's not in Sydney.
Okay.
No, but you're going on holiday.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like in the next month, 2 months.
Yeah, next month or two.
Yeah. I mean, you can come visit us.
You want to?
I'll come crash on the couch.
We'll have a spare, with the couch.
We'll have a spare
for Saturdays only.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Hustle House, bro.
I like it.
The 5,000 week
Do you want
journey.
to join us?
Hustle House.
As much as I would 100% love
to join
that,
What is the word that he had from the start?
Dipped.
As much as I'm down to take part.
Definitely. You can see in his eyes. He's like, oh, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah, as much as I do, I travel is.
We'll use it as dipped. DTTP. Dipped.
Dipped.
Down to take part. DTTP. Yeah. So actually, tell us about your you're going on. The reason why you can't do it is because you're on a 3-month holiday.
Well, I'm not going.
Which is a part of
I'm going on a forever holiday.
It's going to stop you from shaking the microphone, bro. I can just hear it in my ears.
It's not really a holiday. It's
was it your bucket? Obviously,
it's
on top of your bucket list.
Yeah.
But like,
it's my ultimate bucket list. Like it's imagine that you've got all these different boxes, and I've got one huge box, which is just
this big tick.
I've got a huge box. But anyway,
just continue.
Continue. We'll brush over that. It's a PG show.
I didn't mean that one. Which is just be free, just travel. So it's not like it's a holiday. It's just going to be my life. Like on my bucket list, I do want to go to every country in the world. I mean, I'd like to go to every country in the world before I'm 35, if I can. There's a lot of countries.
I thought it's not just 3.
No, man.
300. How many countries are there, to be honest?
Is it 270
I asked you,
something?
Don't ask me.
I could be totally wrong. I think it's like 280 something. Or
I feel like it's 270.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in 200.
274.
Yeah, 274. I'm going to go with.
Are you?
I'm going to
I
go.
feel like that number's hitting home.
It does. It sounds like a good number. It's a good sounding number, but
at least 50.
I'm going to go 270.
Well, we will find out afterwards. You can look up.
You can't do that. You've got to choose a number that's like at least 10.
Are you trying to price this right, him? Nah, I think that's really cool though. Like, if I have the money, I definitely want to come because you're going to New Zealand first, right?
Yeah. So I'm it's
all right. We're fucking way off. It's 195 apparently.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, that
shows how much we know.
That's easy.
Well, you might do it by 30 then, before 35.
Yeah.
It's less. It's like to you, it's 100 less countries.
Well, they keep adding more. Like South Sudan's the newest country. So
oh wow, there's a new country.
Yeah, South Sudan's only like a couple years old. It's the south of what used to be Sudan.
It's like New York. Where's this old York?
That's in England.
Is it really?
But New York,
It's just called York. Yeah.
New York's in.
Is that why it's
America.
called New York?
Yeah, because it's just that's how inventive they were. They just go to a place and
It's the new
get
one.
a name from England and just say put new in front of it.
Mm.
It's like New Hampshire. There's a place called Hampshire in England.
Actually, do you know what I found funny when we were in Sydney? So in here we have like all our suburbs and stuff. In there, they would just pick a suburb, like for example, like Denny Stone, and then the surrounding suburbs were North Denny Stone, South Denny Stone, East, West, and then there's another suburb, Ryde, RYDE, and there's North Ryde, South Ryde. We don't do that here, but they do it over in Sydney. I don't know if they do it in Melbourne. How weird is that?
Yeah, right. I've never
They're like, it saves them like so much names because they just pick one.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
that'd be so much
North,
easier.
South, East, West. But we don't have that in WA, which I found really interesting.
I think we have like South Perth, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Which is like in Perth.
Yeah, South Perth is just Perth.
It's like literally
It's
Perth.
a separate suburb.
And then
It's
they
still
have
a separate
have
suburb.
City West.
City West.
Yeah,
Is that west of the city?
It's literally like 5 minutes from the CBD.
Yeah.
It's just I think they just
This is a joke.
needed a name for a suburb so they could have two train stations close together without calling them like Perth Above Ground and Perth Underground.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Perth Above Ground would be a stupid station name.
Every station would be called Perth Above Ground.
Above Ground. But yeah, no, that's my big my bucket list is travel. But now that
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your calling towards it? Because obviously we're talking about the bucket list and how not having one is devastating, which I think is true. We all have vision boards and stuff. Well, I'm gonna start with you because yours is the most recent, I wouldn't say the most. Well, mine's the most exciting to me. Yours is the most exciting to you.
But
yours
everyone's
is like
individual.
yours is pretty cool because yours is a bit more. We want to travel, but you want to like live and not make it your life.
I think
really.
that's the main thing. I think other than that, I need to make an actual bucket list, like 100 things I want to do before I'm 30.
It's really hard. I've done 101. I did 101 bucket list.
Yeah.
It took me weeks to write.
Yeah.
It's on a website. It's
Yeah.
on I have a website of it.
Like I can already think of a few. Like I want to do a solo skydive, like just me.
That's on my vision board. Is it? Do you have, my one was Dubai. Let's do that with me.
I'll do it with you.
So like, I want to not only get a solo skydive ticket, but do you know Dubai with the do they have that shape, the islands where you can skydive in Dubai, bro? That's literally on my vision board. I got a guy skydiving by himself with that. That would be amazing. Imagine
That would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
What else is there?
Yeah, I think I'd have to just sit and think about
We
it.
go to
Like-
New Zealand
like I-
soon.
like-
Surely you're going to Hobbiton, right?
Oh, I'm going to Hobbiton, man.
We are Lord of the Rings
Actually, yeah,
freaks.
Hobbiton's actually been on my bucket list since I was 12. Like,
Just 12. It's been mine since I was 11. So
whoa, when
eight
you
for
were
me.
10, I was 12.
8 for me.
Was Lord of the Rings even out when you were 8?
it was.
It came out
Wasn't
in
it
2001. So I was like 6.
147?
7.
Is that it? You're the expert.
I would be 8.
Sorry,
2001, 2004, 2007.
yeah, that does sound about right.
Which one's the best one, by the way?
Oh, what is the best? All right, but we're talking extended editions. 'cause
Yeah, of course.
I can't say best movie, but I still think the best battle is Helm's Deep. Like as
in the Twin Towers.
much as the Battle of Pelennor Fields, which is in the third movie, the big one, is like huge and has all this like amazing stuff. Nothing quite beats like the first big battle of the series, which is like the Battle of Helm's Deep is like the first like mega battle, and it's just so awesome.
Did they win that?
Was that the one where he said on the third day, look to the east?
Yeah, look to the east. Yeah, is it the first light of the?
First light of the third day.
Yeah, it's third or fifth. Third or fifth. I can't remember the line.
That's when the
But-
horses came, yeah?
Yeah, that's when they came down that
With the
incline.
Rohan people.
Yeah, the Rohirrim. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones
So-
that had bent, yeah. Anyway, we're
So
getting
it's
way
on
off
your-
topic.
it's on your bucket list to go to.
We're getting way off topic.
So my bucket list is to lead a formation of horsemen against Uruk-hai.
Jeez, man.
But what makes you like want to do these things?
I don't
Like
know.
what's this deep desire calling you?
I think it's just about seeing everything there is and experiencing everything. Like I've traveled before and I've never felt more myself than when I travel. I have really wanted to get out of Australia for a while. Like I love Australia, I love home, but there's a lot of things about Australia that really don't resonate with me.
Like what?
People?
I think just sometimes it's just the culture. I've always felt more European in like
Bro, you sound a little bit too.
Yeah,
I agree with
obviously.
that.
I've always felt not English, because English and Australian have a lot of similarities because we're both island nations. So we've both been quite isolated. Like for example, England and Britain took after they lost the 100 Years' War, basically just got out of most continental politics, and so they were really isolated, just like we are. Where in Europe, you can go 2 hours down that way, and you go to a country that has an entirely different language, an entirely different culture, an entirely different way of
just
thinking.
2 hours away.
Yeah, so it forces you to be open-minded. So it's just very different the way they approach everything
And
there.
one thing you talked about, which was actually two things I want to get into. The first thing is how friendly those people are over there, because you've traveled there before.
Europeans are,
and you said in Australia, because we don't really have that. Like we obviously have a diverse culture here, but it's not like we travel. We can't cross borders. We're one country, so we're all pretty similar.
It's diverse, but it's not that diverse.
But it's not like me driving 2 hours and going into a whole nother country.
Yeah.
That's like crossing the border.
Yeah.
I need my passport.
Like if I go to Sydney,
it's so different.
When I go
Sydney's
to
not
Sydney,
too different.
They're a bit different, just a little.
But it's like,
But
you say this, I say that, but we
They're
live
actually
the
very
same.
different.
We're Australian.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they still sort of live. It's not like
Yeah, I get it.
what's a country that you could be in and 2 hours away you're in a whole different one. Give us an example. Like Germany, you could.
So if France and Germany are quite big, but if I said Belgium and the Netherlands, for example,
Yeah.
or Luxembourg is
It's like
tiny.
two completely different ways of living.
yeah, there's
2 to 3 hours away.
Yeah, there's Switzerland and Italy. And it's also important to note that a lot of countries in Europe used to be lots of different smaller countries. Australia was, yes, it's a bit more complicated than that, but Australia was always like Australia. Like
Australia.
It was just colonized where,
Australia.
Germany used to be like Bavaria and Saxony and all these different countries of massively distinct cultures. They still all view themselves as German. And same with Italy, but you can go into these countries and they're radically different when you change. They even speak different languages. There's parts of Italy that don't speak the same language as each other.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
But anyway,
Back to the main thing. So
for me,
what's driving you?
it's just it's one. It's that freedom. Like I long, and so many people do, and I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. I long to have the capacity to decide what I want to do in every given moment. Like I'm the eternal non-planner. It's been a thing in relationships and friendships. I don't really like planning anything.
No, you don't.
I don't like stuff to be planned. Obviously, I'm getting used to the fact that for business I need to plan stuff. But in my life, I just like to just do stuff. I like to be spontaneous.
Don't like to be on time either.
Yeah, so I got here on time.
No, that's okay. Today.
He was on time today.
That's okay. That's just who you are. It's like.
But I'm usually on time. It was only when we started earlier it was harder.
Yeah.
But anyway, for me, I like to wake up in the morning and decide what I'm doing that day. If it's personal stuff, obviously works different. If it's personal stuff, I like to decide what I'm doing that day.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
So this is the same as like when you're traveling. That's what you love about it.
Yeah, it's all the new people, it's all the new ways of looking at things, and it's constantly fresh. Like I don't know what it is. It's just personality or identity or whatever.
Yeah.
I really burn out of seeing the same things over and over. That's why I don't like after living in Fremantle, which I love. After 6 months, I was like, man, I'm bored now. Like I recognize these streets. I know where everything is.
That's why I should have got a car, bro. You could have traveled to different places.
Yeah. So you like to move around a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like moving around a lot, and I like being taken out of my comfort zone, because if I'm out of my comfort zone where I'm residing, it just takes me out of my comfort zone for everything I do. Because I'm like, well, I'm in the middle of somewhere I don't even recognize. What's the worst thing that could happen? So I don't know any of these people.
So would you say you like to embrace the unknown?
Yeah.
In life? Yeah.
That's what you really like, eh? But like, I find it hard that when people don't have bucket list. It's not like you have to have a bucket list, but when people are just like, because I agree with 100% with your theory about, you don't want to be born, live and die in the exact same area you've been in.
Yeah, because so many people, although we have cars now, so it's a little bigger, so many people will only be within a couple 100 kilometers of where they are born for their entire life.
Yeah. And it's just not like traveling. It's just like stepping out of your comfort zone, actually starting a business, or like I just started learning piano. Side note, I've actually learned the whole intro of Bohemian Rhapsody up to the chorus. It's actually sick. I have to play it for you guys. Yeah, and I've learned the proper sheet music version.
I love that.
Anyway, but like that's just something I wanted to do. I told you I was like, I want to learn piano, so I bought this cheap keyboard. I'm already wanting to buy another good piano now. Started learning songs. It's been uncomfortable. My hands were so sore because you have to do like this. Yeah. But like that's just something I've wanted to do. it wasn't on my bucket list necessarily, but it was like something different and out of my comfort zone. What you guys are now running half marathons for you. It will be my first one as well for official race.
I'm announcing to the audience today that I'm running a half marathon.
But like,
it was last week actually we talked about.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh yeah, we did. Mackenzie decided he's going to join us.
Yeah, I'm currently done my 2K. Anyway, it's on my bucket list.
You haven't ran since the podcast last week.
No, I did. Yeah, I think I did. I can't remember.
I believe in you.
You'll do it. I just think you'll struggle a bit.
I know I can do it. I won't struggle at all.
But lucky we're touching wood. But yeah, I think it's devastating when people don't have a bucket list, like, or just something like they're going through the same routine and ruts. Because I think we've all sort of been there before, where we're stuck in this routine, we're in the same rut, and there's not much changing. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So it's, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think the best thing it offers.
Like that's why it kind of kills you, because if you're not growing, if you're not improving your life, not having a bucket list.
One of the main things that humans want is like you're either growing or you're dying. Like people thrive off growth. Like, that's why when people are stuck in like doing the same thing, they start to hate it, even though if they started this job and they loved it.
Is that a line from High Performance Habits? Sounds familiar.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's maybe where I've got it from.
It's a good line.
But like when someone starts a job, they might love it, and then they get along and they keep doing the same thing for like 12 months. They start to resent it, and they start to, it's because people change. They want to grow. The cool thing, like even in my business, like I teach marketing, and I love learning new marketing strategies and learning the tactics. Like if I was just like, I know the simplest thing works. I could just keep doing that, but I love just like learning those extra little bits that sometimes take me off the path, but it helps me grow more. And it's what humans like it's what we thrive on. So if we're not growing, we're dying. And I think that's like, super relevant to what we're talking about, obviously with bucket lists and setting visions for stuff. It's like some people, the reason they're not happy is because they're not growing, and they're not growing because they're not taking those steps outside their comfort zone to do stuff that they want to do. If they did more of that stuff, it could be small stuff like playing the piano, or like for me, buying the guitar and just playing the guitar. Like those small things add up to create more happiness, I believe, which I think.
Yeah. I think what's really confronting is like, I'm happy where I am at life right now, but if someone told me, hey, exactly 1 year from now, you're going to be in the exact same position, that would make me so depressed.
Yeah, I'd be so depressed.
Like, even though we're all sort of happy where we are right now, sometimes things are stressful, sometimes things are hard, but we're happy where we are. But to be told that nothing's going to change in a year from now, you're going to be in the exact same spot, exact same things, that's so depressing because we like to progress.
You're happy where we are right now. Right now.
Yeah. It's like that movie Palms. Have you seen Palm Springs with Andy Samberg? So he gets caught in a time loop, right? Where like he wakes up and then he did the day, and then if he dies or goes back to sleep, he wakes up at the exact same day, and he was just depressed.
So it's like
because that's not life.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, you're stuck in the same day, and the whole movie he was drinking, depressed, and like he had done it for so long. But it's like that's how people's lives are. They're literally like Palm Springs. They wake up, they do the same thing, go back to sleep, and even though time moves forward, to them it like resets. They're just doing the same shit. On the weekends, they're doing the same thing, and nothing's changing. And they're sort of, it's like we're, even though we're humans, we are sharks. We need to keep moving forward and growing to something. Keep swimming.
I think the value of, and this is why I need to have one, and why I've learned that I need to write more stuff down and plan more stuff, is I think the value of writing your bucket list is that it's so easy to just go into the motions. Or if you have something written down, you can look at it and actually be reminded, so you don't fall into the trap of complacency.
Yeah, because I just made a vision board. I know I took inspiration from you. So I actually had this cardboard thing. I printed out a ripped photo of Zac Efron, and I was like, I want to be ripped. That's what I want to do. I printed out a guy snowboarding in the snow, and I put that on there. I printed out a big grand piano because I want that to be like a big centerpiece for my house. It represents like music and something really nice as it's like a centerpiece. I printed out like the skydiving picture of someone doing it over Dubai, because these are things that I want. And every day I sit at my desk, the vision board's right there. We call it a vision board. And I can actually physically see the things that I want to do. And it really is inspiring me. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely like Ayrton nods every time I say it. Like I'm someone who as much as it served me well, always like having everything in my head, because I always feel like I have a clear vision and I know what's going towards. As things have gotten bigger, I've definitely recognized there's some serious value in actually writing out tangible goals and setting.
Yes. There is a power in writing it down.
Yeah, there is. Which I'm doing my best. I'm improving.
You'll get there,
but as far as the vision boards go, I definitely I've looked at them and gone, man, it's really cool. I should have one. I'm trying to figure out how to have a good vision board like for traveling, because it needs to be small.
Screensaver.
Do you want to? Look
at his screensaver.
Like mine's on my screensaver.
Look, yeah, it says
all the things that I want.
Money. Oh, I have money on mine as well.
The Jeep's on there. I want to look like Chris Hemsworth.
So I want to look like Zac Efron.
I could make one in Photoshop then, yeah.
No, yeah, you sit it on Canva.
It's on Canva, bro.
So you just get all the pictures of the things you
want. I want you
want.
to do this after this episode.
Yeah, literally. I don't have it as mine, but
what's been powerful for me when I first started doing entrepreneur stuff, one of the first things I was taught was create a vision board. Like the first event that I went to, it's like you need to create a vision for where you want to go. Put all the things that you want. Like you start off materialistic and stuff like that, but when you start to put the feelings, the emotions, the things that you want onto those vision boards and you attach meaning to those things, this is like creating the bucket list. Like me dyeing my hair was because I've always wanted to do it. I wanted to feel different. I wanted to feel like I was a blonde-headed person when I was meant to be grey, right? And just like for you, like the reason I suggest doing this like as soon as possible, creating a vision board, so you need to know where you're going, and it can be in your head, and then it evolves and changes. Like I've created probably like 4 or 5 different vision boards over the last 5 years, but the same theme has gone through of the things that I want in my life. You know, I want to travel more, I want to be more adventurous. One of my major goals in life is to speak on a TED stage. Yeah, and one of my goals is in the back of my mind is to find what that TED Talk's about. And I think I'm on that path now.
Yeah.
But when I first set that, I was like, fuck, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. It's going to be the scariest thing I ever do in my life is speaking on TED stage. So I set this goal 5 years ago. There's a video of me 5 years ago saying that. But that's, I think, is really important, because then the things you do in life, you make decisions based on that, because it aligns to your vision. It's like for you traveling, why don't you create a vision for you, like a vision board for all the places you want to experience? Because the way like those things come true is when you start to really visualize what they are, because you start to attract what you want in life.
And it's actually fun to make, because then you're sort of creating your life. It's like, oh, I want to be ripped, I want to be this and that. And like, doesn't mean I'll look exactly like Zac Efron, but seeing it every day, it's kind of like, it was so funny. When Ayrton first told me he wanted a Jeep, he kept mentioning it so much. And we started seeing Jeeps everywhere, man. Like anywhere we went, I was like, man, every second person owns a Jeep, because he started talking about it. And like, there wasn't just magically more Jeeps on the road. We just started noticing it more. It's like, that's from like the reticular activating system.
Yep.
Like when something is important, and then you start hearing about it.
Yep.
So with a vision board, you keep seeing like all these,
and then
I want money, business
come
opportunities.
for it a lot easier. So like,
it's like hearing your name. Your name's important. You'll hear across the room like Colby, because your name's important to you.
Yeah.
I remember I started looking at Bitcoin, and I went to breakfast and I heard Bitcoin, and I was like, someone's talking about Bitcoin. Because it's important. Like that's what I'm trying to say. So I'll cut you off there, but like that's like once it's important to you and you see it every day, it becomes common, and then you start noticing more opportunities and more things to help you get to that point.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
Sorry, I'll let you do. I definitely agree that what you guys are doing, that's probably something I need to do, because I'm.
Yeah, well, don't feel like this is like the fear of missing out, bro.
It's not that. It's that I
DTP.
DTP of doing it.
I recognize it's a valuable strategy, and I'm in like a transitionary phase at the moment where I kind of do need some things that are tangible to anchor myself with, that I can look at it and be reminded, because I haven't really done it. A lot of the time, as much as things are going well, sometimes it's easy to fall off track because it's only my own mind that's anchoring me. So if my mind becomes a little fuzzy or unhinged, I don't have something to look at to remind me of the greater purpose, which is why I think, why I know that these things are good and that I really need to start doing them, because, I don't have everything sorted.
And that's fine, dude. That's completely fine. I guarantee there's a lot of people who listen to this podcast and watch it like, you know what, I'm going to go create a vision board after this. Like it's like the first conversation I have with majority of my clients when I start working with them. You know, they come and they want more clients, they want to make more money, but like if you don't have a vision for where you're going to go, you're going to fall flat on your face. Like, because you don't know what you're aiming for. You want to have a vision. So when you fall flat on that face, you're able to get the fuck back up and look forward back to where you are and stay on those tracks so you can keep going. But if you don't have that vision, you're like, well, you fall flat. You're like, oh, maybe I'll just do this thing over here. But if you have the vision, you can start to see it. And it evolves over time. Like, we're talking just about a vision board. We're talking like, you know, the things you really want, the goals, the aspirations, the bucket lists that you create. I think it's super, super important to have, to know that. Like, and then, like, I've had things that have gone on the list of goals that one thing they've come off, you know. I used to want a Lamborghini. That used to be one of my dream cars. And then I realized, well, I actually just really want a Jeep.
Yeah, it's so much cooler.
Can't go on the sand with a Lamborghini.
Because like the Lamborghini, it was the reason I wanted it was actually because it was like an ego thing to like, yeah, this is a status of success. And now for me, I don't really care about trying to prove other people wrong. I want to live my life and I want to be adventurous. I want to have fun.
I'm not sure if I ever want a car again, to be honest.
And that's completely cool. You don't have to have a car.
Don't have to. Don't form to social conformity.
Yours could just be putting on travel and experience and writing your novel. I know that's one of your things that you want to do.
That's huge, yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, because I think what I've recently realized, what I'm basing my YouTube channel around is being able to create your own life. Because same with like having a bucket list or just having things you want to do. If you don't create your life, someone else will create it for you and you're not going to like it. So saying what you said, if you don't have a vision of where you want to go, someone's going to decide that vision for
100%.
you. So that's what the whole essence around having a bucket list is. And it's just fun, man. It's just like, hey, I've always wanted to skydive. I've always wanted to ski. I've always wanted to do this and that. But like not having it, like I just don't understand how like people don't have any interest in doing anything. I mean, I guess I do to a point.
It's because they're conditioned though. Most like someone who told me to do a vision board wasn't like the schooling system or going to university. They just tell you through like, we can talk about that in a whole another episode, but
yeah, it's a whole other killer fish.
But when I started talking to the right people, hanging out with the people who were doing business and entrepreneur, like, you know, they all had a vision for where they wanted to go. In companies, they talk about visions. Like a company, when they start, they create a vision, a mission statement. You know, we need to have that for our own personal life because like where we're going matters. Same with a company when they build their mission, like they're making an impact. You know, we've got to create that vision. We know what we want, but we need to put it down somewhere. We need to write it down and get clearer on it. Like, and it evolves and changes and you know, it gets bigger as you get, you know, as you grow as a person. But if you never write it down, then you're never going to achieve anything you want and you'll end up being disappointed. Yeah. I think that's like what the 5,000 week journey is all about. It's like not getting to the end of that 5,000 weeks having regret because you didn't create a vision for where you wanted to be. Like you don't want to wake up, you don't want to get to like your deathbed. At the end of the 5,000 weeks, be like, you know what? I wish I did all those things that I thought I wanted to, but I didn't write them down. I didn't do them because I was scared. Yeah.
I think what's really important with this is like only you know the answer. Like people listening and even with ourselves, no one can tell you whatever you want to do. This is mainly self-reflection. If you maybe, hey, I wake up, I go to my job, I play my sport and I'm super happy. Done. You win life. You're happy. That's all that matters. You're happy with that.
Really think about it.
Like, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you literally really think about, you know what? I'm actually really happy just where I live, my family around me, the friends that I have, the job I do, and that's it. That's all I need.
And that's
you're done.
Cool.
You win. But if you're sitting there and you have that self-reflection, you're like, man, like I'm actually not happy. Like internally, I love my family, I love my job, I love this, but there's a hole inside of me. That's when you got to do the self-reflection and start thinking the next step. Okay, right now I'm in my comfort zone. I've been in my comfort zone for months. I need to actually embrace the unknown, which is basically what it is. I need to actually step out blindfolded, not knowing what's going to happen next. And I trust me, if you do that, wonderful things happen. That's how I met Ayrton. That's how I met Colby. That's how I met Mackenzie. Now I'm doing all these cool things. We're starting a business, literally doing a video production company. I've run a marathon. I've done all this crazy stuff because I have built the friends around me, which took 2 years of development to me to get to this point.
Yeah.
But that's because I took that step. 100%. And same with you, and same with you, what you guys do.
Any successful person in any industry, any career will say the exact same thing as it took them stepping to get, like embracing the unknown of what could happen, the risks. Like every business person that I've chatted to who's successful has had huge ups and downs. but they never regret the ups and downs because they took that risk to start off with, to go all in on their purpose, their passion, their vision, right? And you see the successful people, they always tell you, like, this is my story. I started here and I just took the risk. I wanted to do something. I just didn't want, like, for my story, like, I was working in a service station. I didn't want to work there anymore. I wanted to do something. I was like, saw that quote, and I just, like, stepped out of my comfort zone and did it. I think a lot of people, might be listening to this, be like, oh, it's scary. This could happen. It's like, well, at the end of the day, you're going to die.
It's good. It's good
Yeah.
that
You're going to die. Well, like, why don't you take a risk on something that you do love instead of doing something you don't love? Because, like, that's just a waste, I believe. Waste of time.
It's just like when I quit my job, I was like, man.
oh damn, I have to work now.
No, I was like,
This is
yeah, like
I have to fend for myself.
I quit my hospitality job to focus on this business, and I was like, look, man, I don't know if it's going to work out, but I know it's not going to work out if I don't go all in on this. And that was it. And I don't regret it. Like, it's in like a down right now because I'm in a like not business, but like I have to work my ass off, which is why I'm a bit more worn out this week. But pretty much 1 month from now, it's all going to transition to the up phase.
That's the reps, bro. It's putting the reps in.
Yeah.
You're doing more reps now. You're gonna come out stronger.
I should probably do some more actual reps as well.
I'm glad you said something, but no, I'm just joking. I think with what you said, one of my favorite quotes is this: "We must suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret." So it's the pain of like putting in the hard work now to make our life better, or living easy, care, whatever. But then the pain of regret when we're older. We must suffer one of two. So it's all about which one are you going to suffer. I think that's really powerful.
That is,
because that's like you said, the essence of 5,000 week journey. You don't want to get to the end of 5,000 weeks when you're like in your 80s, 90s. Like, yeah, there's some people in the 80s, 90s still doing cool things. Some like still doing runs and stuff. But there's a lot of things you can't do in your 80s. Like, very limited. So it's
like the human body can only handle so much.
Yeah, but I just mean like it's just once you hit a certain like that really old age group, then you've missed out on all the things you did. Because like what people say, they don't regret the things they did; they regret the things they didn't do because of being judged in that moment. How many times have you we've done crazy stuff, just yelled out, like not disrupted or negatively impact people, but just like been a bit silly and fun and wild. But like where most people wouldn't be like that because they're scared of, that person might think I'm weird. Like, how many times that's happened to us quite a lot. Like we because there's a difference between like, being carefree and fun and having, compared to like, you're literally disturbing other people. Like, that's bad, obviously. But you want to be at the point where
there's nothing wrong with
like being your true self is what I'm trying to say.
There's nothing wrong with disturbing other people non-maliciously, because sometimes they need to be a little disturbed to look at something and go, "Oh, that looks fun."
Yeah, just not like when you're physically harming or like
no. If your inner voice is running across the street and beating people up, you
running around naked.
You should check
don't do
yourself
that.
in somewhere.
Don't run around naked, guys, unless you're at a nude beach. But
I think there is one in.
Actually, that is on my bucket list as well. I always want to go to a nude beach. I think that'd be fun.
I swear.
It's just doing crazy stuff.
I swear the beach at Freo is a nudie beach because everyone is. I don't know if it's a full nudie beach, but everyone's always. Like,
this took a sideways turn, but like this is actually on my bucket list. Like, it's just a crazy thing, but like, how fun would that be? I might go with my girlfriend, not you guys. But
my recommendation is if you just go to Europe, because
all the beaches are nude.
No, it's because if you go to
just normal.
Because in most places that are not Europe, the nudie beaches are like 80-year-olds and up.
Which ones? Tell me.
like everywhere that isn't Europe.
Nah.
So when you go to Europe, it's kind of like in a lot of places it's just a general thing for like certain groups of people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's actually on my bucket list. I've always wanted to do it and then make a video about it, but do like a skit. Have you seen Austin Powers when he was walking around the house naked?
I've seen.
And there's something always covering his privates. Like,
I think that's how funny. I think two of the movies do that.
Yeah. It's like he's like, and then like it's just funny. Oh man,
so good.
But what else? We haven't actually talked about your bucket list. We talked about your traveling. I'm like skydiving, snowboarding.
I've got to make mine. So what about you? Tell us.
What's on your list? I have no idea.
So I've got a few big things. So one's to speak at a TED Talk.
And that's all we have time for, guys.
Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
You got your big boxes, yeah.
I want to write a.
That's the first thing. One of the first things you ever told me when we first met.
Yeah, it's one of the first things that I set like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I said in the next 5 to 6 years, I'm going to speak in a TED talk. And that was related back to that quote of the out of the comfort zone. My biggest fear, and I said this, and I literally have a video of this. I was looking at the other day. I wanted to turn my biggest fear into my biggest success in life, which is.
Oh, power outage, guys. The light switched off. You were talking about.
So you were telling us about how you wanted
TED
to.
talk.
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah. So one of the things on my bucket list is a TED talk, and the reason it is because it's the first thing I set as my vision. I put on my first vision board, and right in the middle, it's on every vision board I've ever created. And the reason is that the whole premise of what we're talking about today is like embracing the unknown and stepping out of your comfort zone. Is when I saw this quote, my biggest fear was speaking in front of people at school. And I said to myself, when I decided, it's like from that day, I'm going to turn my biggest fear into my biggest success. Had no idea what I'm going to talk about. I do kind of have an idea what it is now. That leads to where I want to write a book, which is my second goal, which was set at the same time as the book, and obviously a TED Talk will be involved together. So like they're two of the major things. The third thing is a coffee shop. I just want to start a coffee shop. I don't want to work in the coffee shop.
I know you've always said that, eh?
I've always wanted to own a coffee shop. Like that was one of the first three things that I really set on the bucket list. They're still there. I'm not doing like any of those right now, but I know because they're on the vision board, they're not right now things for me. They're in the future. The things I'm working towards.
Do you know how to make coffee? Like good
I
coffee?
do. I do. I used to work in a cafe for like
that's right. I remember
7 years in the Caltex. Like I used to make coffee every single day.
Is
what?
I used to there was a cafe part of the Caltex.
No, I had a question and then it just.
Bro, you just stared into the abyss just then and we're like, question gone. Oh my God.
I just looked at it and it just.
You're like, I have a question for you. Why is everyone looking at me? That's what you were like, bro. It was
like the question for you and just sitting there.
Oh my God. Now we'll never know.
It's like when you're in class and it's like, you put your hand up and the teacher looks at you and goes, yeah, and you go, oh, I've got nothing to say.
I was just stretching.
I was just, it's like that. I know, I was just stretching.
Oh, man.
And the whole class looks at you and they're just like, you filth.
You disrupt my learning. Is that just your three? Like the
they're three core.
Just those three.
Yeah.
And then there's other fun stuff like traveling.
Yeah, so like even like for setting goals this year, usually I'd write down like real specific numbers and stuff. Like I've sort of evolved over the last years, so 8 months, with my goals. More of like, what's the meaning behind the goal, and writing down the meaning instead of the actual end outcome. Because like obviously the name of this podcast and what we're doing, the 5,000 week journey, it's the journey of getting to where you want to be is what you need to enjoy the most. So when I wrote down goals this year, it's like, I want to have like 100 people in my program this year, which will equal $300,000 or $400,000, which is great, and I can set that as a monetary goal. But I don't really care about it, the money. I'm more like, how's that impact? How am I going to feel when I have these clients? Even at Christmas time, I wrote. I had 6 clients that I was working one-on-one with. I wrote 6 personalized cards and sent them for Christmas. And that feeling made me feel really good. And when I was writing that, I looked at the packages I was putting down to send them to the mail. And I was like, next year I want to send 100. Because I just imagine 100 people, because all my clients I sent letters to all cried and sent me a photo back. And that feeling was amazing. So like, it's even like with your visions and your goals, it's like I always now, like when I first started, I was more of just like, I want Lamborghini because I want to prove everyone wrong. Now it's like, well, the reason I got a Jeep is because I want to feel that experience of travel and adventure. The reason I had like this goal of 100 students in my program equals $300,000 to $400,000 in my business, which will be my biggest sales year. But it's the meaning of the impact I'm going to have and how I'm going to feel when I get to change these people's lives. And sort of how I look at my vision board, my bucket list now says, how is this going to make me feel instead of just doing this to tick something off?
Yeah, I think I have that mix between fun and purpose. Like me going like snowboarding and I want to swim in actually ice water, like somewhere where it's like frozen. That is just like fun because I've never done that before. I've been to the snow when I was like 6 And what are you guys laughing at?
He was just looking at me.
No, I was looking right through.
You forgot another question,
No,
eh?
I was just thinking.
He was just.
He
was just like,
I was just staring right through him.
As I was
he's
in the
thinking
middle
about
of a
his vision
spiel.
board.
I am.
He's like, shit. Now I actually need to go create
Oh
one.
my God.
Hopefully this inspires you, bro. I mean, like anyone listening to this, like,
Yeah,
I love for them to like message the page and show us their
I'd love to
vision
finish my sentence.
board. We can come back to you. We're talking more about. I'm acting on my purpose, bro. We're gonna help people unlock their true potential. Right?
Anyway, I was saying I haven't been to the snow since I was like 6 or whatever. So I don't count that as me going to the snow. That's why I just want to do. That's just fun. But then another thing, like a grand piano, that to me is like purpose because like to have a grand piano, I need to have my own place. Grand pianos are really expensive. Like if you get the full one where it's like proper like big one.
Yeah, they're huge.
So to me,
too.
that's like a centerpiece of my house. That's expensive. So it's not just like, oh, I'm going to buy a big grand piano because like, where am I going to put it? I'm going to put it in my house. So it's like the whole thing of like me getting my own house and like being successful and actually having this centerpiece where I can, and I want to learn piano as well.
Yeah.
So I've had some like purpose driven ones. Like that's a purpose of like, that's me like achieving monetary success and just like being creative musically. And there's just fun, like skydiving. Like I've always wanted to skydive.
Money and
You got to have that mix between purpose and fun.
Yeah, and speaking of which, money's an interesting thing because I think it's
How so?
like while we're on bucket list and that, it's something that you need to have the right kind of relationship with because I think what you obviously you guys know as well is in my opinion, money as itself is worthless. It's worth nothing. Money for the sake of money doesn't mean anything. What it is in the modern world, it's the great facilitator. So like for your bucket list, it's like, oh, I want to do all these things, but obviously we need, we need money to do all these things. So all money in that comes.
Do you know what money actually is? It's energy.
Yeah, I love it. I love this saying. Yeah, it's just energy.
So you need more. You need to get more energy to do the things you want to do, right?
This is an interesting question I thought of, and I posed it to my girlfriend. I want to pose it to you guys. Would you rather have like unlimited money, like you go spend whatever you want, but you're guaranteed to die at 50, or live the way you are, die at 90? What
That's an interesting one.
Because my girlfriend said live to the 90. And I'm like, wow, it's unlimited money, giving up unlimited money for 40 more years. How valuable is that? I think I'd do the same.
I don't know because I feel like if I had unlimited money, what would probably
you get shot. It's like Looper, the movie. You can't get out of this unless that was the answer.
Let me finish.
You have to die at 50.
I think what I mean, I wasn't going to say I'll get out of it. What I mean is, I think because it's just kind of there. I guess I'd never really have the feeling that I earned anything. Like when I can travel, I feel pride in the fact that I've built a life that allows me to do it. And while, of course, everyone for the first couple of years, like having limitless money and do whatever you want, it would feel great. I think what might kind of happen is because you don't have that sense of pride, it would start to feel kind of hollow. Because what if you're just going around just spending money whatever you want, but you haven't actually built anything, like what kind of legacy do you actually have?
It's just like when people win the Tats Lotto, like.
I need an answer, guys.
I'd go 90. I'd go. Let me just keep building my own life, and I'll die at 90. Because I don't need unlimited money to hunt my life. I'll hunt it now. I'll make unlimited money myself. Yeah.
I agree with that. I thought it was a really interesting question because it just shows you that money actually isn't powerful. Like it's important, but it's not like be all and end all. Like we all treat it as.
Well, money's only worth what people think it's worth.
Yeah.
That's just basically.
Well, it's a mean of exchange.
Yeah.
The money isn't the value; it's the value in the thing you're trading the money for.
Economics.
Isn't that crazy? So no one actually wants money. Well, we all think we want money, but when we get it, we can't wait to get rid of it because we want to buy things.
Yeah.
So it's not the money; it's the value of what money buys things. It's really interesting, and the money pays for the bucket list as well, bucket list items, which is really important. What were you saying about the lottery? Because I really like that topic. Really, before we wrap up.
So when people win the lottery. Like say it's like $30 million. Like everyone like I've only ever bought like one ticket in my lifetime. It was like probably 8 years ago. But when people win the lottery, like they think that that's going to solve all their problems. Instantly solves all their money problems, right? But then after 1 to 2 to 3 years,
within
that money...
within 3 years they go broke.
Within 3 years they go broke.
60%.
And like, they're not happy. It doesn't solve their happiness. The money doesn't solve their happiness. And like the money just literally goes out as fast as it came in, and they're back to where they are. Like they lose all the money, and I believe like if I won the lotto, I don't want to. That's why I don't buy a ticket. I don't want to win it. I'd rather earn that because like as you said, it's like you want to earn that money because it's the journey of getting to.
I think it'd just feel weird because like
if I won right now, I'd be like, I'd actually probably be depressed.
I would never tell anyone.
I think it'd be disappointing.
I'd keep it a secret.
It's like I don't know. Like every time I look at my money that I've made and I go, oh, like that's mine. I know how this got here. Like it all makes sense to me. It all fits. Like I put this here. If it was kind of there, it'd just feel weird. I feel like it would just feel odd. Like
you just donate it all and keep the receipt. And when someone accuses you of being rich because of your money, hey, I donated the whole 20 million. That's true. You could actually do that.
I would do what Castro did, and I would build a giant cow complex for milk.
What?
What?
Did I show you this video? No, I showed it to Jack. Yeah.
Fidel
Castro was so
Is this on your bucket list, bro?
he was so obsessed with milk that because you can't get good dairy cows in Cuba, he built this huge refrigerated complex the size of like a football field to milk cows in because he loved milk so much.
The more you know, guys.
Yeah.
That is so interesting.
Yeah. He'd have
wasted
he'd eat 12 ounces
in my brain.
He'd eat 12 ounces of ice cream after every dinner.
12 ounces.
That's a lot of ice cream.
That is.
Yeah, you're talking out your hole now.
No,
but I think
I can prove this.
I think the important lesson is like, well, we need to keep moving forward as like humans and having that growth. Like we said before, like if you're not happy with yourself now in this self-reflection and you're not happy with your life or there's something, you're in the same routine and same rut, it's because you're in your comfort zone. Once you embrace the unknown and truly believe that like, okay, if I blind myself and just go out there and do some crazy stuff I've never done before, good things will happen. And I can guarantee you good things will happen because that's what's happened to all of us. And I've seen so many stories of it happening, and that's how I want to wrap it up. So anything you guys want to say?
There's always something you want to do, so just go do it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, you summarized it really good, man.
Yeah, there we go. Well, you guys know where to find us at the 5,000 Week Journey on Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, so we're going to leave it there. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment wherever you are, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening.